Welcome back to Texas Rangers with the Boys. We are the Boys, your daily Texas Rangers podcast by a couple of pro wrestlers who love Rangers baseball. And hey, we want to thank you for making us the first listen of your day. Your boy Kev coming in hot, letting you know that your Texas Rangers are the defending World Series champion. Nothing can take that away from us this year. And our Texas Rangers are scratching and clawing to retake that American League West Division Series lead. Just hanging out at a half game back. Man, we got a lot to talk about today. We've got a lot of injury news, good news, and mostly for the Rangers. We're going to talk about this young squad of players that is making a huge impact for this team this year. And plus, we got a handful of box scores, which we know you guys love. If you want to talk to me on social media, it's Kevin Lee Frazier. That's Frazier. If you want to check out Texas Rangers with the Boys on social media, that's TX Rangers WTB. And don't forget to check out that website, TexasRangersWithTheBoys.com.
All one word.
There it is. And joining me, my co-host, the 300-pound manimal, a.k.a. Bull. How you doing, buddy? And where can they find you on social?
Well, I'm doing good. Rangers 2-3 from Cincinnati. Good young team. Did enough on a couple of nights to get wins, and that's huge for this club right now. And had a bunch of fun watching Ranger baseball all weekend long, and it's really become such a highlight of the day. So it probably has been since I moved down here. I remember the first day I moved down here, they just turned on the TV. The Rangers are playing Boston at Fenway, and I was captivated for life. And on top of that, I think like the score was like 17-9 or something like that. I'm like, whoa, they put up softball stats here in Texas. I like it. Canseco, Gonzalez, just murderers row. So much fun. Anyways, been captivated. It's almost been, even through all the tough years, man. I mean, there were down years and not everything was fun. And, to see them playing well and be the World Series champions, such a great feeling, because, we don't know if it'll ever happen again. And we've been a long time coming for the Rangers. So it's just become such a highlight of every day watching the Rangers play, and pitching has been good enough to get us 2.5-hour games every night. So that's always something else that I look forward to. But anyways, if you want to talk about 2.5-hour baseball games, hit me up on Twitter or X at Manimal Bull, Instagram Manimal300, and both Facebook and TikTok at Bull Pro. And like I said on the Down on the Farm show that we put up a little bit earlier, I haven't been focusing so much on TikTok because of all the stuff going on with the banning it or whatever that's going to happen here. So I haven't been doing a whole lot on there, but we'll start we'll figure out how to do it on Instagram or something.
Something like that. But we know most of you guys find us on the Facebook anyways. So we're steady. We're steady.
Yeah, we're Facebook people. We're in our 40s. Yeah, we're in our 40s.
All day long. Facebook, the OG.
I like looking at Twitter, but I don't really know how to post on there to get people to care about it.
I don't either. I've Twitter's been around half my life now, and I still don't know how to get people to actually respond to a tweet. But anyway, hey, let's do it. We have a couple
before we get in to baseball, we got to remind everybody that Matt War Pro is going to be back at the Southside Preservation Hall in South Fort Worth, Texas, on Friday, May 24th. It's going to be a big show. There's going to be a lot of hard-hitting wrestling. Always big dudes in the ring at Matt War Pro. This month you've got Big Need Remedy versus Damo McCullough. You've got Brick Savage versus Sam Stackhouse. So that'll be almost 800 pounds in the ring together there. The Manimal will be there. And big title match in the Battle of Dante's. A couple of really well-traveled young men, Dante Smiley, Dante Leone, going to have a big match for that Trinity River Heritage title. And, I'll be there in some capacity. Not sure what just yet, but, when I know more, I'll let everybody know. Don't forget also that our friends at Kelly's Onion Burgers, Big Dog Hot Dogs will be out back. We're going to battle hamburgers and hot dogs every time we can because the most American food that you can possibly have out back. Some hamburgers and some hot dogs. We're also going to have some ice cream. Like that's you know, I mean, it's going to be Memorial Day weekend. How can you not have? We forgot to tell the Memorial Day weekend story on the Down on the Farm with the Boys show. Oh man, we may have to just do one show that's like 20 minutes long just to tell that story.
Well, let's do this. Let's get through what we got to get through today, and time permitting, we might drop a little. We might do it here for free. How do you feel about that?
Well, we'll see what the time looks like. If we don't have time, maybe we'll just pop in, do that, just talk about it for 15, 20 minutes and put it out there with, who knows, maybe just on Spotify or something for the Down on the Farm. Who knows? But, it's Memorial Day weekend. Get you some ice cream, hamburgers, and hot dogs. That's right up there with Memorial Day weekend. All we need now is a boat.
Yeah.
But, hey, come on out. Friday, May 24th. There may be a boat out back. Who knows? We might just have a boat anyways. But come on out for the wrestling. Stay around for the food, and get you a Martin House brew from Martin House Brewing because they'll be there all night giving away free beer. My mom asked me because she's watching the show now that it's on YouTube. Is that true? They just give away beer? And I'm like, yeah, just as many as you want. I mean, as long as it's reasonable with you getting home safe. So come on out. It's going to be a big time. Get your Memorial Day weekend started right with Matt Ward Pro Wrestling Friday, May 24th at the Southside Preservation Hall in Fort Worth, Texas.
Speaking of YouTube, don't forget to check us out also on YouTube at the CTH Network at Chilltown Hoops.
All the episodes are up now.
Yep, all at Chilltown Hoops, all one word, by the way. All
Very
episodes
cool.
are up there, and again, see our faces if you're interested in that. If not, you can just keep listening to our radio only voices as well. So we know you didn't come here to hear us talk about all this other stuff that we've been talking about. You came here to talk baseball, so let's talk a little American League West before we jump into the Rangers talk.
Well, the Rangers are a half game out in the American League West, but they have the same amount of wins in the win column as the first place Mariners do. The Rangers got an off day today. So, the Mariners will be in action later with the Atlanta Braves. So by the time we do this thing tomorrow, there's a chance that the Rangers will be back there in first place with the Mariners. The Rangers playing the Nationals this week. The Mariners are playing the Braves. So, in baseball, anything can happen, but that looks like a pretty decent scenario for the Rangers to get themselves right back in it and be in first place by the time we're talking about it on Thursday.
Yeah, those Braves play some mean baseball, man, and Seattle will have their hands full.
Yeah, the Seattle pitching staff, man, it ain't no joke. Gilbert and Kirby and Castillo. Rangers had Castillo on the ropes all week or all game last week and just couldn't put him away at any point. And that's kind of been the case with the Rangers. They're a hit away here and there to really start to add some runs but those hitting hard balls right at people and it's just it just hadn't quite come around. And there's other teams. I'm in the American League West. Nobody it's really coming around right now. It's cool that Mike Trout's still hanging out there, but he can't do it all for Anaheim. And the A's, I believe they're going to be much improved from last year, but still that bullpen is nasty out there in Oakland. They got some good pieces, and Miller really at the end. You get to Urquhart and Miller and what's a big Mullen, that kid's like that big lefty. There's not a lot of runs out there in that bullpen, and then the Astros got a couple of wins this weekend in Mexico City. There's no way you could possibly ever put a team in Mexico City the way the ball was flying.
Yeah, you'd have to go indoors and do the whole humidifier, whatever thing that they do in Arizona, I guess.
But it looked like a cool scene.
Yeah, I didn't watch a single game of it. That's the
I
problem.
mean, it's something interesting for the game, so I wanted to
Well, and
take
I
a
would
look.
love to. I like the prospects of it, though. I mean, it's not that far away, especially if you're playing games in the the southern part of the U.S. That's not a big deal, especially with the AL West, with two of those teams being in Texas. The only big trek would be having to get out to the West Coast if they ended up in the West. But also, I mean, I really love what they're doing in Oakland right now. We kind of knew they were going to be an upstart, but I think they're
Well,
more of an upstart than we expected. And them being, if you'd have told me 30 games in that Oakland would be ahead of the Angels and be ahead of the Astros right now, I don't think anybody would have taken that bet, man.
probably didn't see that one coming, but at the same time, I mean, this is how the A's do it all the time. They develop players well, and then they send them out and get other players and develop them and win with those guys. And it's normally a couple-year process, 3 to 4 year process, and we're on year 3 now. So the A's are probably getting pretty close to being a decent team, and they've got good pieces, and there's good players on those A's teams. They're just really, really young.
Yep. Well, I would also say with Seattle leading the division, Seattle probably one of the hotter teams in the American League right now, and they are looking to be the team to supplant the Astros to give the Rangers the biggest run for their money for the division, at least early on in the season.
Yeah, and I don't think anybody kind of saw what's happened with the Astros happening. I mean, they've got themselves a little bit of a hole, and we'll see what happens. And I mean, you don't want to take a team that's a year removed from being in their 7th consecutive ALCS. You don't want to take that team lightly, but they've really dug themselves a hole, and we'll see what happens, and we'll kind of see where all the injuries they've got with their starting rotation, where it leads them to. But right now Rangers are in a good spot in that American League West, and there's going to be a time where they're going to play better baseball than they've been playing over the course of April.
I agree. Well, now that we've got ourselves back on the Rangers, let's go ahead and start talking Texas Rangers baseball. And let's jump right off with Max Scherzer, kind of the story of the team right now. The biggest news, at least not on the field. Max Scherzer makes another rehab start, if I'm correct on that.
Yeah, he's going to be down at Corpus Christi on Tuesday.
Okay.
So he'll make a start. He'll probably take Ryan Garcia's start in the rotation this week. Garcia probably could use a week off after a kind of a tough start. Maybe get him a couple of innings out of the bullpen behind Scherzer, and maybe give him an opportunity to get some confidence behind that. But anyways, we're not talking about Ryan Garcia. We do a whole show dedicated to guys like Ryan Garcia. We're talking about Max Scherzer. I mean, you just marvel at what he's done as a 38-year-old, 39-year-old athlete. I mean, knowing what it takes at 39 to prepare for a full year of work in a sport. The injuries, it seems like they take longer to get healthy and all of that. But Max Scherzer, a guy that's played 17 years in the big leagues now, and this is the first surgery he's ever had. That's kind of crazy to hear that. And come on, Rangers, you couldn't have given us like a walk or a single or something while Scherzer was on with the broadcast this weekend to get us more than about 5 seconds with Scherzer. I mean, what a great, he's so great in the broadcast booth and talking about, and the Rangers both times on the broadcast on Friday, on the local broadcast, the Rangers 1, 2, 3 a Saturday. It seemed like it was like like first pitch from all 3 guys. It was like, come on, can't you go out, lean into something, Josh Smith? Damn it, I want to hear Scherzer talk for a little while. But anyways, I wouldn't say amazing or anything like that in the sense of what his timetable has been, but it's definitely been impressive. and for him to, have a herniated disc repaired and be back, on the hill throwing 4.5 months later, basically at this point, I guess 5 months later now. That's pretty good stuff from Max Scherzer, and I imagine that in the next couple of weeks we'll see him back up with the big club. I think he's looking to throw 80 to 85 pitches Tuesday night.
Yeah. Also say, we're obviously looking forward to what he's going to bring to the team on the field. But man, the veteran leadership in the dugout too, especially with what we're going to talk about a little bit later with all these young players on the Rangers team. I mean, just like think about it. Like when we were in locker rooms and we were just getting started out in the pro wrestling world, like how great was it to be able to walk over there and talk to, a Rock and Roll Express or a Hacksaw Jim Duggan or a
Gang, Dr. Death. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you're talking about like guys that have been where you want to be. And so, you got to think it's great to be able to come off of a tough out or a tough inning. And you got those kind of guys sitting in your dugout that are there to kind of, hey, look at this thing, look at that thing. Hey, this is what you need to do next time. Hey, here's what I saw. And even still kind of like, they probably do this. They probably say, hey man, do you mind watching my at bat and kind of keeping an eye on how I'm doing? Or you mind watching my innings out here just to make sure I'm doing this way and that. So,
and we kind of saw that a couple of weeks ago when Leiter made his start and they panned to him after that 4-run second inning. And it was Max Scherzer sitting right next to him with Mike Maddox going over things. And it's like having that second guy. And Max Scherzer's been with Mike Maddox for a lot of years now between the Nationals now and the Rangers. So, those guys trust each other. They love the process and they love helping those guys get to those same places that they've been. Because I know a guy like Max Scherzer looks at Jack Leiter and looks at the stuff that he has and knows that that's somebody that can really be something special in the league.
Yeah. Speaking of young pitching on the team, Cody Bradford, I don't know if we mentioned it last time that we spoke. Maybe we did.
I think it was Friday.
We talked about the injection, but we didn't talk about the rib, the fracture in the rib. We didn't talk about that.
Yeah, I can't remember if we did or not, but even if we did, it's worth mentioning again that Cody Bradford is probably going to be out at least another month. He has a small stress fracture in his rib that wasn't even coming up in like the first images when he was hurt. When he first was feeling something, they were basically, like the rib injury wasn't even showing up because it was so small. And then as he tried to kind of press back to get back, he's added a little bit of stress to it. And now it's showing up on a report. So cut him off for 3 weeks, get him back to a point where he's starting to throw again and go from there.
Yeah. And it's really unfortunate because he was maybe the best pitcher on the team.
He was looking to break out. Yeah, he was really looking to break out and have a breakout season. And it is unfortunate. And hopefully, you get to a point where around June 1st, he's back ready to start making some rehabs and get himself back in a position to help this thing. And you get him and this next guy that we're going to talk about back together.
Yeah. So the next guy, power at the corners, man. You got to have power at the corners. And Josh Young is all of that. Another young player on this team that was looking to have a breakout season. I mean, he had a great rookie campaign, but man,
he was doing in the first handful of games before he got hurt was thunder.
Yeah.
There was thunder coming out of his bat, and you can't teach that. You can't teach the electricity that the ball was coming off of his bat with, and for him to go down and have a real flukish type injury right off the bat and end up losing, 2 months of your season, real early. So, we're through April with it. He's got to get through May here. And I would say sometime at the beginning of June, he'll start being pretty close to ready.
Yeah, one other thing too with Josh Young that I think we probably aren't realizing the effects of is that he was one of those guys batting, in that 6-7 ish range of the lineup with Jonah Heim. And he was one of those guys getting on base that was helping the bottom of the lineup produce. I think one of the big things offensively with the Rangers is they haven't produced as much at the bottom of the lineup like they had been last year. But
they're not kind of getting the RBIs at the top of the lineup with those guys on at the bottom of the lineup that we were seeing last year. The 2-out RBI hits aren't happening right now. And a lot of that is, we've seen a lot of balls hit hard.
Right.
With 2 outs and runners on second and third, and it just happens to be right at somebody. And, those things are going to come around, and they're going to be there, and they're not going to be there, and they're going to be there, and they're not going to be there. And that's, it's hard to, look, those guys that are pitching on that other team, they're pretty good too. They're trying to get you out just as much as you're trying to get that at bat. And for the Rangers right now, like we said, it's about playing 500 baseball until you go on that run. And I still think the Rangers' best baseball is ahead of them this year. I also think that Josh Young, it could have been a lot more noticeable in the lineup what happened with him if it hadn't been for what Josh Smith has done playing third base. He's earned every day at bats there, and then you're also getting some production now from Davis Winzel and getting himself into a point where you feel good about giving Josh Smith a day off with Winzel there at third base. And you've got Duran behind that, who is also very capable as well. And at any moment he could get hot and take off at the plate as well.
Yeah, and I think what you're talking about is a theme that we're starting to really pick up with this team, and that is that, man, we just talked about our Down on the Farm with the Boys show that we just put up. We talked about a lot of these guys all year last year that didn't really. A lot of these guys did not play that much at the major league level. Really, you're just looking at Josh Smith and Zeke Duran, who, Zeke Duran got the lion's share of all of that. Yeah, Josh Young. And I always think of Young as like a veteran already, but he's only in his second year.
He's 26 years old. He's only played one full season of big league baseball. It's but you look at him and then you think about, Jonah Heim, who's 27 years old, and he's not, he's getting to that point where he's a veteran by baseball standards, but he's still a young guy. You're still, he's still getting better, and he's going to continue to improve as well. The organizational depth is what we talked about so much last year on the farm show, is how maybe not all of these guys are top 100 prospects or even top 30 prospects for the organization, but they're ball players. They're good ball players. Davis Winzel was a co-Big 10, Big 12 player of the year in 2018, and who he was co-Big 12 player of the year with was Josh Young.
Yep.
So, Davis Winzel, he hit 30 home runs last year at AAA. This is a very capable baseball player. Is he wowing anybody right now with his prospect number? No, he's 25 years old, 26 years old. He's a little bit older, and he just hadn't quite made it to the big leagues because he's been kind of blocked in by really good players. If he doesn't play third, he can play short and he can play second, but that doesn't make it any easier to get on the Texas Rangers ball club.
No, sure doesn't.
So Winzel is one of those guys that he's a very good baseball player. He was a first-round draft pick in the supplemental round of the same year that Young was brought here. The Rangers, their look was if Young didn't pan out, that Winzel would. Right. And so these are both good, very good baseball players that are very capable. And you talk about Josh Smith, who, last year he was with the club the whole year. He was in the opening day lineup in left field. He's worked himself into a position to where they trust him at several different positions on the field for him to be successful for the club. Zeke Duran has played first base this year. He's played shortstop this year. He's played third base this year. I mean, and none of those are his natural position. He's a second baseman that would be what you would consider him where he would play his best baseball at, would be second base. And that isn't, it's not open for discussion. You don't get to play second base on the Texas Rangers. There's a guy there that he likes to do it every day.
Yep.
There's no spots. There's no days off. There's no days off for that guy. So, whereas these guys are blocked to be starters, the organizational depth is really starting to show up, and it's really showing up in that bullpen right now with Cole Winn, with Jacob Blatz, with the outrage that Mark Church and Antoine Kelly haven't gotten opportunities just yet, and especially when Austin Pruitt was called up a couple of years in purchase, or a couple of weeks ago in purchase. But that organizational depth is finally starting to show up and show out, and we're seeing it, and we're confident. If Jack Leiter comes up and makes another spot start, I am confident that he's going to go out there and compete. If Owen White comes up and pitches out of the bullpen, I am confident that he's going to compete. Same thing with Mark Church, Antoine Kelly, all these guys that are on the 40-man. Cole Winn, we were both, I don't know what we're going to get with this guy. But then when I kind of started seeing that last outing he had at Round Rock, when he only threw one inning and he was topping out at 98 and his stuff is rating at like 117, you're like, okay, this guy, he might have something, and maybe it wasn't as a starter, maybe it wasn't as a middle reliever that was throwing 3 or 4 innings. Maybe he is a back end of the bullpen guy. Definitely, you don't want to see it, especially after losing Slayton in the Rule 5 and him being so good for Boston. It's really nice to see Winn and Jacob Blatz and Grant Anderson help this thing in the bullpen.
Yeah, and let's not forget that you still, on your 40-man roster, Jonathan Ornelas is hitting great at AAA right now. Dustin Harris is hitting great at AAA right now. So, you've got a lot going on with these young players, and I think it's extremely exciting. I think the experience that they're gaining right now, and they're staying right in. They're right in the division race. So it's like. Yeah. It's like the best in many ways. This is like the best of both worlds for the Rangers. It couldn't really, it couldn't be going much better. Obviously it could be, but this is, if you'd have told me, hey, we have played, like Wenzel would have been playing, Josh Smith to be starting, like all these young guys would have played by now. And we're a game over 500, a half game back from the division lead. Man, like this is a great scenario for this team.
I think if you'd have told me in February that Jack Leiter was making spot starts in the big leagues, I would have not believed you.
Mm-hmm.
And it goes deeper, and there's going to be more. And we talk about them all the time. There's good young kids that are going to be on their way. And we talk about Santos and Teodo and Dane Acker and all of these good young pitchers that they have that, they're on their way, and they're going to be, the organizational depth says that this could be a big journey, like this could be a long journey as being a really good team, especially with having core pieces like Simeon and Seager being around both for 5 more years. Simeon's got 4 years after this one.
Fromm as well as another guy that's going to be here for another handful.
And we really haven't even seen what we're going to see from him yet. And it's just, it's super exciting to see what the Rangers are kind of like getting. And then, now you're thinking, hey, locking up Kirby Yates was a pretty smart move for a couple of years and for hardly any money.
Mm-hmm.
So just organizationally right now, the Rangers are in a good way. And I'm kind of excited about, watching these young guys take these next steps.
Absolutely. Well, hey, if you want to hear us talk about those young guys and what steps they're taking at the minor league level, you mentioned Winston Santos, who probably couldn't be a hotter player in the Rangers organization right now as far as Down on the Farm. That's where you're going to want to go to our exclusive content, Down on the Farm with the Boys, where we cover all things Rangers, minor league, And this week we got you caught up with 2 weeks worth of Texas Ranger or 2 weeks worth of minor league play for these Texas Rangers. So go check it out. Go to our website, TexasRangersWithTheBoys.com.
Oh, one word.
Or you can go to our Spotify page, subscribe there, or you can go to @Chilltown Hoops. And we have 3 different levels there, where one of those at the third level, you can hop onto our exclusive show and chat with us about your baseball takes, whether it be minor league or major league. So go check it out right now. Get your fill of baseball, because every player that we're talking about right now, as far as a great young player with great potential for this team, we talked about at length a year ago this time. So go check it out. You won't regret it. Just $1.99 a month for audio, and then you'll have the 3 levels here at the CTH network. So I'm gonna kick it back over to you, because we got box scores, man. Rangers take a series over the weekend at home, wearing their City Connect and their powder blues. And it was a fun weekend. And that Cincinnati team, this might be one of the bigger series wins of the early season for the Rangers, because that's a good Cincinnati team that puts a heck of a lot of pressure on you all game long. They do every facet of the game well. And I'm glad that Jonathan India, like, good riddance. Like, get out of town.
That kid came in hitting like 164. He came into the series hitting 164 and left hitting like 240. Get out of town, kid. I don't ever want to see you again.
Yeah.
Friday night, man, a good pitching battle. Eovaldi was a little tad wild, maybe a little, you want to see those walks down for sure, and that's a couple of games in a row where you've seen a high walk total from Nathan Eovaldi. But overall, navigated through 6 innings, just 3 hits, and then the one, they call it an earned run, and a double steal. But it sure looked like Ellie De La Cruz was heading back to third base when Jonah Heim threw the ball down to second base, and he only scored because the ball sailed into right field. So to me, it looked like an unearned run. The official scoring on it was an Ernie with a steal of home for Ellie De La Cruz. But the 8 strikeouts for Eovaldi, a nice total. That seemed to be the total of the week for Rangers organizational strikeouts.
Yeah,
everybody had 8 Ks. Santos, Brat, Leiter, Acker, Toyota, they all had 8 Ks this week. But the Rangers, man, they got a solo shot from Evan Carter to tie that thing back up, and then in the 8th inning, Marcus Semien went off the second deck facade to win that thing. And Rangers bullpen was good again. Jose Leclerc and Yates both had a couple of strikeouts apiece, and Jake Latz, another solid inning from Jacob Latz, and he continues to earn key situations in the bullpen from Bruce Bochy and Mike Maddox. And you could tell that they're starting to feel good about Jacob Latz as a relief piece. And you take away that grand slam that he gave up to D'Arnaud, and he's basically given up one run the rest of the way, 2 runs maybe. But either way, I mean, he's only had 2 outings all year that he's been scored upon. And, those happen. That happens. Some days you don't have it. Some days you don't have your best stuff. And one of those days, I think we distinctly talked about it, a punch ball out into right field, and, stuff happens. But Jake Latz, Jose Leclerc has been really good since he's been taken out of the closer role. And then Kirby Yates has been really good since he's been put into that closer role, before he was put into that closer role last year with Atlanta, before he got the TJ with San Diego. Kirby Yates is just a good pitcher, man. That fastball split finger combo is nasty, and it's hard to hit, because if you guess splitter and you get fastball, you're 10 seconds behind it. And if you guess fastball and you get splitter, and if you guess right, you still can't square it. So, Kirby Yates is fun to watch. The Rangers didn't do a ton offensively. They did have the one error from Heim on the throw into center field, which is which is weird that would be an error, but they still called that the stolen base. But whatever, no big deal. Evan Carter had a pretty nice day, took 2 for 3 with the home run. A couple of hits from Leody Tavares, and he hit the ball hard all day on Friday. And Corey Seager broke his 0 for 18 on Friday with a single in the 9th, I believe. And the Semien home run that won the ball game. And man, I mean, I'll pass it over to you, but not a ton to talk about. Ashcraft was really good for Cincinnati, and Nathan Eovaldi was really good for the Rangers, and that thing was over in about 2 hours.
Yeah, I think the big story, let's not forget Josh Smith continues to make offensive contributions as well. But I think for me, the big story with it is the Rangers winning a must-win close game at home where, the heat's kind of turned up. I mean, I don't think they're getting a ton of pressure, media pressure-wise. Like I'm not getting a lot of that noise. I think we're all still living off the high of being World Series champs for the first time ever. But I think they, as a team, are feeling the pressure. I think Semien and Seager both know they're underperforming. So you got to think that, there's a little bit of that. And to see the team come out and get just a nail biter in both of their wins over the weekend were both these kind of, close games where it was basically literally like a bloop and a blast away from losing the game.
Yeah.
So I love these kind of wins, Bull. Like I love them because when everything's not going right, and you're winning, that means when things start going right, when Seager and Semien start hitting.
When those hard hit balls that we're talking about with 2 outs and runners in scoring positions start getting down, and
these are the kind of teams that win 13 in a row and stuff like that. Like this, because in a big stretch where everything's going right, you're still going to have those little games here and there where you're going to have that kind of that moxie to kind of squeeze out wins, and they're doing that. And so
I feel like they have that, and I feel like just to put a quick bow on this thing, Jose Leclerc gets the win. ERA after starting at 21 out, he's got it down under 7 now. Sims gets the loss after giving up the home run to Semien, and then Kirby Yates still no ERA as of Friday night.
Man, Kirby Yates, boy,
and,
he's like all-star game material if he keeps going this route. Well, I didn't feel like Saturday was too much of a bad game. I feel like it was one of those games where it just the offense just was not there.
And Hunter Green didn't do him any favors either. Hunter Green pounded the strike zone. He's up. I'll let you go.
Just 2 cents on Hunter Green before you take it away. But what I've noticed about him, it's funny. I'm comparing him and Jacob Latz is kind of a funny thing because it's not really about anything about their makeup or about their stuff or anything. But I remember watching Hunter Green a couple years ago when he was just getting started. I remember watching him last year at home against the Rangers, and he just looked shaky. You just felt like he looked like he was a little overwhelmed by where he was at, but with the stuff that he's got, he's going to be playing in the big leagues. On Saturday, you could tell he's taking stuff off the fastball. He's not throwing 102 out there, but he knows he's good. That fastball that's like on the TV screen, that's like a little centimeter, just a baby centimeter above the strike zone, that 97, 98 mile an hour fastball, right above the zone. That thing is deadly.
Unhittable.
And he can throw it there. He was just throwing it there over.
Yeah, I think really, what I've learned with Hunter Green over the course, like you were talking about, I mean, his command is there now. He realizes somebody set him down and said, hey, 98 is fast too, bro.
Yeah.
You don't have to throw it 102 to get big league hitters out. 98 at the top of the zone plays better than 102 right down the middle. Look, lots of guys can throw hard. Lots of guys can throw hard, but there's not a lot of guys that can get outs with that. I mean, look, even guys that have been doing it for lots of years with hard heat like Aroldis Chapman still get hit. Now, he didn't get hit so much back in like 2014, but I mean, now he's still got 100+ mile an hour gas, and he still gets hit because these guys are really good. But he also doesn't command the strike zone like Hunter Green did on Saturday either. Now, when you're talking, you're hitting all parts of the corner, like you said, running that fastball up there. That I mean, look, there's a box in there or whatever or on your TV screen, but like up and down is pretty subjective to the umpire. They not. Up and down isn't going to be the same for a guy that's 5'9" for a guy that's 6'3". So, that's pretty subjective. And if he's missing it by what looks like a centimeter or right up against it on the box there, I mean, if that's right down the middle or inside the strike zone, that's a strike going to be. I mean, that's, and like we said, it's coming in there at 98 miles an hour. That umpire has to make a decision right there. That's 98 at the belt. I guess it's a strike one. I mean, that's kind of how it goes. I mean, you got the batter has 0.2 seconds to decide on whether he's going to swing at it. The umpire has 0.2 seconds to decide on whether he's going to call that a ball or a strike. So, I mean, up and down is pretty subjective. I mean, when they start missing inside and missing, I mean, as many calls as we saw on some of these games this week, that, I mean, the Rangers have been getting some really awful umpiring. And I mean, it happens.
White Langford.
Yeah. Even when the national media is picking up on it, I thought last year that it happened a lot to Josh Young. I felt like it happened to him a ton last year, but the national media never really picked up on it like it was like Wyatt Langford. But, I mean, Young probably wasn't leading the league after one season and have as many bad calls out of the strike zone as you have games played. I mean, like that's. But overall, I can't even remember what we were talking about. Oh, how good Hunter Green was. Hunter Green was so good. Michael Lorenzen wasn't bad. He probably shouldn't have went back out there for the 7th. I think Bochy tried to steal a couple of outs there, and it didn't work out the way he wanted it to. But I didn't think Lorenzen was bad. He did give up the home run there at the end. No doubter that Will Benson kid hit that ball a mile. But the Reds have a lot of good young players. The Rangers bats woke up in the 9th inning a little bit. I thought it was nice to see them at least get that thing to a save situation. Even if nothing more than just it's nice to get a little fire out of your dugout when you started the inning 8-0.
Yeah.
You got home runs from Wenzel and Seager. Tavares, who was hitting the ball on the screws all day long and hitting them right at people, hit a little nubber that got through on the right side to start the inning off. And Wenzel homered for Simeon there, and then Seager went back-to-back with him, and the Rangers put Nate Lowe, Carter, Smith, Langford all got on base to make that thing a save situation, but they brought in Edwin Diaz's little brother, and he shut the door for them and got things out of there. Little pop up to the pitcher from Kisner, and then Duran. I think he might have popped out, something like that. It, wasn't the worst at bat that we've seen Duran have this year for sure. But overall, you saw some fight. You saw him score some runs late. They looked dead all afternoon for the most part, but I think you can chalk a lot of that up to Hunter Green.
I agree.
The guy that they lit up there the 9th inning, that was a guy that he hadn't given up a hit on a slider all season, and they hit 3 in a row. They had 3 hits in a row off of that slider. So little things that are good. Wenzel hits his first career major league home run. It wasn't the biggest first major league career home run of the weekend, but it was nice to see for Davis Wenzel. Seager getting off the schneid a little bit, hitting the ball hard, especially off a lefty slider. That was nice. In a game that they didn't play very well, they kind of made it competitive down the stretch and made it into a ball game in the 9th inning, which, a little bit too much too late, and not getting runner home from third with less than 2 outs hurt with Smith there. But they didn't have a whole lot going against Hunter Green. Hunter Green. He was good, real good. on the verge of, like almost perfect, yeah. So yeah, sometimes you run into a buzzsaw like Hunter Green, and sometimes you score 4 runs in the 9th inning off of a really killer left-handed reliever.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, there's. Let's talk about Sunday.
Well, I was gonna say Hunter Green real quick. Hunter Green gets the win, Lorenzen the loss, and then Diaz the save, and that's Sunday.
One hit, one walk for Hunter Green. Rangers
and
show
Urena
up.
gave up a run late in the game, but he did a good job of at least not making them use their bullpen.
Right. I mean, that was a success. Rangers come out in those powder blues. The powder blues don't look the same color to me as
they're not. They're the Nike jerseys are all a little bit different. Mm-hmm. Again, I still think what's wrong with white pants? Why can't the Rangers just wear white pants?
Yeah, wear the white pants with the blue hats, and those jerseys kind of look
cream pants on Friday, white pants on Sunday, and I have no problem with any of the Rangers uniforms.
I can't agree more with you, but obviously the big story, the Wyatt Langford inside the park home run. Everybody was excited. Everybody was excited. The announcers were excited. The Rangers dugout was excited, and obviously Wyatt Langford was excited too. Did you hear the statistics since 2014, or I think it was since 2014? No, 2010. Something crazy like this. Some crazy number. There's been 14 inside the park home runs for their first home run. Since I want to say it's been like 20 years.
I thought it was like 2000. I thought maybe it was 2000.
Like 20 years.
Well, 2 of them have been for the Rangers in the last couple of years.
Yeah, Altuve was one of them too. I heard him say Altuve. His first home run was an inside the park.
And I know Josh Smith, his first home run was an inside the parker a couple of years ago. Well, first, real quick, nice 2-out piece of hitting by Nate Lowe to keep that inning going, to get to Bombi, and Bombi just smoked that ball to left field. That was a rocket. Mm-hmm. And Jonah Heim kept things going to get Wyatt Langford to the plate, and his ball placement has just kind of been either good or bad, depending on how you want to talk about it, because that ball's hit to center field, a couple more feet, and that's a home run, no problem.
Same happened when he hit it to left field.
Yeah. Well, and the other day, I mean, he has like this crazy placement to where he can't. He kind of finds the biggest part of the park there whenever he gets a good one.
Yeah.
But this time, he was able to race around the bases at somewhat record speed. This dude runs it like he's almost as fast as Ellie De La Cruz.
I know. That's what they said. They were saying this. You can look these stats up on one of those
Savant. Yeah.
Yeah, and him and Evan Carter are right there with Ellie De La Cruz as total speed. So MLB The Show needs to get their stuff up to date, because he's only ranked at like a 70 or 65 in speed on the game.
No, he's 100 speed.
No, he is 100% one of the fastest players in all of baseball. And he's got wheels. He's got the whole package, man. It's just kind of cool. I feel like he's got to be a great team guy to see so many people pulling for him. You can tell that he doesn't. The whole team was like excited to see him do that, and that just tells you he's already a guy.
And I think they also see the monkey on his back with it too, and how much pressure the media and everyone's putting on him to hit this home run when he's out there hitting 260 for a rookie and 250 for a rookie and trying to get things together. I think we're going to see the power numbers come in. We're going to see him start jumping guys when he's ahead of counts, and start seeing him swing more first pitch. That's going to come as he gets more comfortable. He's trying not to make mistakes right now. And, that's normally when you don't play your best ball. And there'll be a time when I think he gets to a point where, and it's going to happen soon. I mean, probably Tuesday night he'll drop one out of the ball yard now that he's got the first one out of the way. But getting that out of the way, getting those 4 runs early because Abbott settled in, right? Was that an Abbott?
He's a good pitcher.
Yeah, he's a pretty good pitcher. He's got some decent stuff when he starts getting that changeup working, and the Reds are a good young team. They're a lot of fun to watch. Real quick, I thought Jonah Heim saved the game there late when Cruz put that bunt down and he popped out there and beat him to the bag because, for all we know, Ellie De La Cruz felt like he was going to steal all 3 of those bags to get that run back on his own. So for Heim to get out there, make that play, make it work the way he did, and the good on him. That was a big portion of today's game. I thought, the couple of home runs early. Nate Lowe's on fire. He had a couple of singles, got robbed of a double down the line by Spencer Steer on an incredible layout. He laid out, dove to make that play. Overall, the couple of home runs early really, really held. And Dane Dunning was fantastic. 10 strikeouts over 6, 5 1/3.
Tell him he's not a strikeout pitcher.
Yeah, no doubt, right? I mean, he was mixing guys up pretty good. I mean, that cutter was moving from left to right pretty good, I guess right to left depending on how you're
wiffle ball, man.
But yeah, he had it moving pretty good. The changeup was working, the slider was working, the cutter was working, everything was working for Dane. And I think probably a pretty good call on Bochy's part to go get him, even though he was at 69 pitches, just with Benson and De La Cruz and those guys coming up. I thought Spores made good pitches to get those outs. They just were hitting another foot towards the right.
With De La Cruz against right-handers, like you're playing with fire, man. He's coaches righties, man. So you're probably right, especially third time through the lineup. Coming up.
Yeah, and Spores, he made a good pitch to De La Cruz. Simeon's playing towards first base one more step. He probably makes that play. Made a pretty good pitch to who was that hitting after Steer? Corey Seager made a pretty good play. Just got a weird bounce off of that short hop that Lowe couldn't handle over there, and that ended up getting Ellie De La Cruz in to score that 3rd run to get the Reds back within a run. But Spores calmed down from there, got everything under control, got him out of that inning, and handed it off to Robertson, who David Robertson did David Robertson things. Jake Latz was tremendous in the 8th inning. And Kirby Yates, maybe the shakiest he's been as a Ranger, and that involved getting, runners on first and second with 1 out. And that, I didn't think there was any way they were going to overturn the Bubba Thompson stolen base there in the 9th, but I guess they had something that I couldn't see. I know his right hand was in there, but you tell me he didn't come off the bag at some point or that he didn't get tagged. I didn't think there was enough to overturn it, but the Reds didn't have anything to lose by using that challenge one way or the other. And I'm just glad he didn't come in to score to get the Reds back into that thing. But bullpen holds, starting pitching good again. The Rangers did enough at the offensive side to get a win and a series win, and they've evened the homestand up at 3 games apiece, and they've got a couple 3 with the Nationals this week, and we'll talk about those tomorrow because we got plenty of time to preview all 3 games.
Yeah, and guess what, man? We're going to be at the ball yard this week for your birthday.
Oh, yeah, Wednesday night for sure we'll be out there, and then I'll be out there Thursday afternoon too because, like I was saying on the Down on the Farm show, my brother works at the city of Euless, so he had to be on call this week, so we'll do it once he gets off a call.
Well, and we'll be out there for the game where they're giving away the Seager ring. We're going out there. We're going to be out there for the jersey. They're giving out a jersey that night, so we might need to get out there for. Oh, looks like I lost my guy here, but we're going to get out there for I want to say it's a jersey that's going to be given away tomorrow, and on Wednesday. And then probably have to get out there a little early because, man, the last time I tried to get out there for a special giveaway, we didn't get out there in time. So we will be back tomorrow to preview that Washington series. And I'm going to maybe try to buy some time here for Manimal to hop back on here. It looks like we lost him, but we will be back tomorrow. We're going to preview that Washington series. Rangers come away with a nice 2 out of 3 over the weekend against the Cincinnati Reds, one of the better teams in the league right now. One of the better series wins for the year for the Rangers. And I
was just like you were gone that whole time. I just wrapped the show up.
Did you?
I was like halfway done with the wrap up. So if you want to wrap it up here, go in and do it.
Well, I
was like, hey, Kevin went away. I guess we were done with the show anyways.
No, I don't know who, but maybe this will be a fun recording for you guys because who knows what was going on in the.
Yeah, you completely disappeared and then you popped up talking about a series win, and I was about to hit the button to run us out of here.
So you disappeared, and then here we are. So how about we close it out here?
Close her out.
Thank you everybody for tuning in. Don't forget to check us out on social media. TX Rangers WTV. Don't forget to check out that website, TexasRangersWithTheBoys.com.
No one word.
And where you can find our exclusive content down on the farm with the boys. We cover all things Rangers, minor league. Big shout out to our farm hands for sticking with us this month where we had a couple of shows that we didn't quite get as many out as we wanted to. Again, thank you for checking us out here on YouTube on the CTH network at Chilltown Hoops. Again, all one word for the 300-pound Manimal. This is your boy Kev. We are Texas Rangers with the boys. Signing out.